Feature Friday.
The freshest. All right, this is really interesting. You guys have been requesting this a lot, and I have been holding back to anything that Shreya has done in Berklee, because Efra has spoken about it a lot, and I want to experience the whole thing, like her whole explanation about how she does everything and all of this. But this is one of the performances that she did at Berklee when she did that conference, and you guys want us to check it out, so let's have a look.
Berklee Indian Ensemble.
That's right, let's have a look.
Ensemble.
Oh, it's the same people that we watched.
Same violinist.
Yeah.
Certainly the same violinist.
Oh my god. How did he make a violin sound like a flute?
Yeah, I guess once you get to that, because the violin is just impossible to make good noise to begin with.
Oh yeah, I suppose he's a magician, bro.
It goes from somewhat reasonable noise to then sound, and then like really, really good people actually make music.
Melody out of it. It's so hard.
But it's fucking impossible, that instrument.
But just listen, it sounds like a flute. Not there, but there. Doesn't it sound like a flute? What the hell?
He's got Pro Tools in there.
Oh yeah. That's beautiful.
I forget what
That's a beautifully handcrafted instrument, bro.
I forget what that's called.
Oh, she's about to blow some people's minds here. Mine included. Listen to the space. God.
She looks like a royal.
She does.
I know what the cue's gonna be. I wonder what it feels like to be that good at something. Like at an instrument.
In life. I wonder what it feels to be good at anything in life.
Because, especially an instrument of that difficulty, I guess for him, he might say it's not that that complex. You know, once you spend so many years and so much discipline on it, things become, you know, simplified. He's the same. I kind of understand that mentality, but not many people that I've met get to that level where
I haven't met anybody who's at that level.
I've met
of anything.
one person, and I've mentioned him before.
Oh yes,
and he's a genius. He is what you would say
a modern genius.
Yeah, like he does physics, astrophysics now. Like the guy is fucking mental. You know, he stopped doing music because he thought he had the answers to the universe. That's how crazy that guy was. He is. He's not dead. But yeah, I mean, he's transcended. he's so smart. Yeah, he's so smart. But so I don't know what it's like to be that. Obviously, and I don't think many people do because he's very rare. He's an anomaly in his own right. But
what's his name? I would love to know his name.
It would be awesome to.
I want to follow his career.
Chat with someone like that.
I was like,
just
what?
Pick at his brains. And I bet he's very normal. Like, he's just a normal geezer. Like.
I bet he's like the most normal guy ever. The thing is, like, you see these musicians that are so aligned with their instrument because they probably have spent their lifetimes, right, since they were toddlers, trying to master or be the instrument because they're not just playing it, they become the music. Like we saw it in the last Berklee video. Actually, these musicians are on another freaking realm of music. They really coexist in a completely different atmosphere to compared to the ones we breathe in, right? Common normal people. But it's really interesting because they kind of like evolve into this thing where the music is them, they are the music. Somehow that translates into being the instrument and how they play it, because they really transform they really transfigure when they're performing. I mean, we saw it in the bass player of that Berklee video that we watched, like A.R.Rahman, like yeah, he was the music, he was the rhythm, and the singers were the melody, and that's hard to comprehend. Like you really can't explain it until you see it, and this violinist really embodies that perfectly.
Wonderful.
It's so magical that even takes Shreya, who's a master at what she does, right, out of her element, and it really makes her focus towards him, like, and.
Well, I guess when you get to that level, it's not being out of it. I guess it's just enjoy it, man, because what the fuck? Not many people can get there, and this guy's creating his own world, so fucking might as well be part of it.
That's what I mean, because it really, like, it's hard to explain. I don't really have the words, but I guess I'm just trying to figure it out as I'm watching. I don't know what to do. That's your cue. Yep. Can't wait to hear the time signature. This is going to be mad.
Oh, it's not her cue. She's gonna fall in the middle.
Yeah, it's gonna be some weird entrance. He's giving her the look.
Ooh, is that tabla? What is that? Or is that bongos?
It's a tabla, it's a tabla.
It's a tabla. Dude, what a collaboration, dude.
This needs to be in The Witcher too. It's coming in December.
I know.
She also reading lyrics, dude. I do not understand this. I don't get it.
You know what this? We'll go back left to that because I want to listen to that because she gave him the cue beautifully. But
Come out. You gotta listen to this, bro.
Yeah.
Watch this stuff.
You know what this reminds me of? Just time signature wise, and similar to how you operate on the tabla. It's like it's the closest thing I can think of in the West is flamenco.
Yeah, close. That's true.
It's the closest thing because I was attempting to learn flamenco in El Cajon, which is very difficult to do if you don't have someone who's from Spain. Teaching you. It's hard to do it through YouTube, actually.
I was gonna say, I think that's one of the rhythms and styles that you need to be physically in the place, like, or have somebody who physically teaches you, because it's such it's a contact.
You don't need to, but it will definitely fucking help. That's what I'll say. I don't think you need to.
I think you do.
No, because I've seen other percussionists become great cajon flamenco players.
They're also a small minority.
And they're from Puerto Rico. They've never seen anyone from Spain. I don't even know what a European looks like. You know what I mean? So I've seen it. I've seen it, firsthand. So it's not. You don't need to. It's not compulsory. But will it bloody help? Yes. With India, same. I would feel with the tabla. I feel like can you learn tabla without having to go to India and being exposed to the Indian music industry and truly submerging yourself, yes. Would it bloody help? Yes. But there's time signature. The closest thing I can think of as a percussionist is flamenco.
Well, I was
Similar.
listening. We were just listening to India Martinez a few days ago, and hearing, now that I have been exposed to Shreya and the Indian music industry and the Arabic music industry overall, hearing so many freaking influences in the, you know, in the in Spanish pop, and especially how India Martinez does it. There are so many freaking wonderful influences that are so bloody intricate that you hear in Shreya, but Shreya obviously does it in a Shreya way, and it's
Well, she's masterful among masters. That's the interesting thing about this
exactly,
woman.
and it's just so like, I don't know, it was like a light bulb moment for me, and because I find myself so ignorant towards this brand new set of music that you guys have been helping me
normal.
expose
It's the first
to.
time.
But it comes,
Exactly.
it comes together with history.
It does, I suppose.
Spain was conquered in certain time back in history for
Okay.
several hundred years
All right.
by the Middle East.
Right.
All right, and the Middle East influence and the Indian musical influence melted together in certain point in history.
Well,
as well.
the interesting thing that I'm reading from, like, you guys and other articles you guys send us is their origin. My question has always been, right, where does it begin?
Where the origin
India.
is from, yes, it's true.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
That's
mad.
why here it's so radically different.
Yeah.
There are things that are similar, obviously, because they have originated from here.
That's right,
From
that's
from India. So it's so radically different to our brains, because if you're not exposed to the origin from birth, it's gonna sound very different. But I do hope that, you know, the more exposed we become
There
to
are
it,
things that are
we can learn.
definitely remarkable for certain areas.
Yeah,
For
sure.
example, theater. Theater history is
In,
England.
yeah, I mean, it's
British.
yes,
Yeah,
as
you
British as I
have-
get.
Yeah, you have that kind of rhythmics and musical influences from India because they spread all over the world.
I see your point. Yeah. I'm with you. I agree. It's just, yeah, it's truly bizarre when you look at the origin, because not many times you get the chance to do that.
And no, many times you get to delve this deep into the
It's the same
origins
with
of
the Latin rhythms. Where are they from?
Africa.
Africa.
Africa, that's right.
There's no other
And the
influence.
deeper you dive then in the Afro scene, the more you understand. But the weird thing about the Afro scene is it's similar to India, even though India's a country and Africa is a fucking continent. What you realise is that
You would argue that freaking India is a continent on its own.
because each region,
Yeah.
it's so radically different in what they listen to and what the instrumentalization of music, the classical influence, the more unorthodox and more orthodox type of music, similar to Africa as a continent, is that intense in India too. Like, for example, in Africa, the south of Africa, very different type
And
of
they
music.
have-
The east, very different. West, very different.
That's right.
North.
And in India, there is so radical that even the language changes, right? Depending on the
That's
so
it.
that influences so much on how the singing will change too.
And you don't get that in other continents. That's why, that's why India's also interesting, because it feels like it's its own continent. Because, in Europe, for example, north of Europe, you get different music, but not because it's a regional thing. It's because the country changes.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, that's
But
right.
in India, it's a different bloody genre. Like,
It is.
go from the
It's,
south to the north, and it's like, I guess that, perhaps the same instruments may be utilized, but different
but
language.
the
different
take is completely different.
It's bizarre.
It creates a brand new genre.
This
I mean,
is at Berklee's College of
yeah,
Music.
yeah. Have a look. This
Look at
is
the musicians,
absolutely
they're
insane.
fucking brilliant.
Insane, Daddy. He's singing with her. Oh God. What is that time signature?
Exactly.
Right, pause. What were you gonna say, Father? Apologies.
What is the time signature, Papa?
That's what you're seeing there. I was talking to my brother about that because he in the piano has, a very wide experience playing with musicians from around the world.
Yeah. He's actually
in China.
Yeah, he's a successful pianist in his own right.
What he explained me about this type of music is they still use normal scales that we know, major and minors.
That's right.
But what happens is that the fretless instruments, for example, the violin, they build so many microtones in between that make it more flourish, more, well nurtured as a music piece itself.
Okay.
And it sounds the way you're listening.
It
It's more nutritious.
Yeah.
It has more micronutrients, if you were to say.
That's what you have as a result.
Right.
But they are playing in the normal
same keys.
scales that you know.
That's what I realized.
Yes, and then you should see them when they do runs and when they improvise. They change scale and they utilize rag. With rag, which is a completely different scale from India.
Yeah, and it's
very weird.
It's individual to a specific area too.
Yes, he was explaining me about that. Even the instrument itself, they tend to tune it
differently.
Different.
Yeah.
Even when they will perform the same scale, they will have it tuned in a different
key. Yeah.
And that's why you have different twangs. And then we're done. Where the fuck did that come from?
Literally.
And there it is.
At the beginning, probably it was random, but lately it was an experimental and well-funded work.
Yeah.
And it's what you have nowadays.
Yeah.
It's
well, certainly here,
absolutely wonderful.
Certainly here, they're not utilizing different scales. They're utilizing scales which are universally known.
Majors and minors that you know.
I guess they play along with
the circle
brightness.
of fifths,
And circle of fifths, like they might go Michelini in certain scale, they might go Dorian in certain time, whatever, but they're all sort of universally known scales. But then there are, I guess, just Indian uniquely known scales.
Exactly, and they're very unique to the specific areas and the takes of the of each region. It's
but I don't think we're ready for that yet. I think that will be time. I think that will be time for a different podcast on his own, where we sit down. And just so you know, guys, the person who's speaking is our father. That's a lovely film.
He told me that he was in a recording session for a band in Africa. I can't remember the country exactly, and he needed at least 1 week to adapt his ears. Even when he was playing exactly the same chords, the band was doing something different in terms of rhythmicality and certain chords.
Imagine if you were to go to fucking India and you
had
to do and you were recording pianist like he is. Oh, mate.
There's a famous artist and musician performer, Leon Russell. He had a great experience performing with Indian traditional music, and I saw it clearly in 1970s at the very beginning of the 70s in a concert, Bangladesh concert.
Oh wow!
They were fundraising money to send to Bangladesh back in the days when the humanitarian crisis was unmeasurable in Bangladesh, and he took a couple of very successful musicians from
India,
and that was the first time I heard
Indian music.
Wow.
That level,
right?
That's an outstanding.
It is.
Level.
I wish you would have been in the podcast for the
70s.
Yeah, I wish you would have been on the podcast. It would be really nice to
have you and
we're
talk
gonna do
about it,
we're gonna do a South Indian
special soon.
Special, so you should definitely come join us and we can discuss and stuff like that.
All right.
It'd be really good.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Bobby. This is actually the time signature is actually rather complicated, just given the rhythmicality and the singing situation of it from a singing standpoint. The entrances and cues and everything, even though it's so big in the space, it is rather difficult to come in, even if you were familiar with the piece itself.
The cues, though, not the hardest. I'm kind of glad of them. I think Shreya.
I think they're pretty tough, especially given the singing influences that she's going towards.
Look at this one. Look.
Is there communication for me?
Time for brother to shine, huh?
like a mandolin, but it's not really a mandolin.
This is a mixture between a banjo and mandolin. Are you paying attention to the percussion there?
Yeah, it's a tabla. The guy never stops, 4 fingers.
Yeah.
It's all fingers, no hands. That was rough. That was rough.
What about that cue was
That
easy?
was rough.
What about that cue was easy? There was nothing. There were literally she guessed. Thank you, Papa.
The primary one was not too bad, but this one is horrible.
It's like, what the hell was that cue?
No, yeah.
Oh, goodness. There's no resolution to her journey. Those are 3 instruments only. I don't understand anything.
You know why it still sounds thick and they have no bass?
Because the tabla is a tabla.
It's the left drum tabla. Yeah.
I know.
I don't know what you call it, but the left one, the
Improvise the
boom, boom. He's doing the bass line. That's what's so interesting with the left hand that they do it. That's pretty rough. That's pretty difficult. What they do on the right, if you were to be somewhat familiarized with instruments and percussion, like congas or bongos, you would pick up that quite fast, I would imagine. Again, I am gonna buy one. I'm literally gonna take it seriously because I'm really interested in it, and I think we could do really cool things with our own music.
Yeah, because they are divided between quinto and requinto, and the conga.
Yeah.
Latin percussion.
But here, it's a big jump. It's a very big jump because it's they're not as close together. They're very far apart in terms of frequencies. So
Yeah, they're.
And the shape itself is.
yeah, it's radically different. Well, the left one is the one that intrigues me the most. The right one, I guess that would be the most impressive for a lot of people, especially given the speed of but that doesn't impress me as much. The left one that impressed me as a lot because he's doing the bass line, and in a 4-piece in a 4-instrument piece like this one where there is no bass line, it's 4s. It's well, I guess including the vocal.
Okay.
There's no bass line and it still sounds thick because the tabla is doing the bass line, right? But the time signature is obviously.
Does it mean that he can change the tune? In
Yes.
the
He can, yeah, he can
Yes,
with
he
this.
can.
Making certain pressure, different pressure on the leather.
Better than any instrument I've ever seen in my life.
It is such a highly melodic percussive
Something
instrument.
similar to a timpani, that you can have different notes.
Not as, yeah, but not as maybe not as mechanical.
Exactly.
Because you know the timpani is rather mechanical.
Because this is more.
Tactile, yeah.
Yeah.
you touch
But
it.
better than like in the conga, if you were we do this sometimes to, I guess, show off.
Increase it.
Yeah, in solos we change the frequency by dragging, right?
Yeah.
They do this all the fucking time, and that's how you can say the boom, boom, boom,
Exactly.
boom, boom, and that is here. It's very bizarre.
It's really interesting because the tabla is an instrument that really created a lot of intrigued me a lot at the beginning. It still does, but it's because it's a percussive instrument that provides a lot of melody, which is not something that you often see. I mean, you're in charge of creating melody as well as creating a percussion, like a rhythm, and that alone is a really tough concept to grasp.
And it's also drier sometimes. Like, if you pass me the bongos, please. I don't know if those ones are in tune, but if I was to hit this like this, right, like, right, there it sounds way dry. I guess the frequency is also different, and I don't know if this is in tune, but they, for some reason, in the songs that they operate in, it also seems to be harmonious.
Yep.
In Latin music, this is never harmonious. This is percussive.
That's right.
But there is percussive and harmonious.
I think it depends on the length of the wave, and it turns it more melody in the same bar.
Yeah, and what I've noticed is that that's they like to do this a lot. But on the left, which is the weird one, the one that it's like, and then they drag, and then they get a different. Here, see, for example, here you get nothing, right? You get nothing. Actually, as a matter of fact, when you do bongo, you want to dry it out like that, right?
It's a muffler. You use it as a muffler.
Yeah, but they get enough of a melody from this, and they can still drag, and they get a
change
boing.
the
And they say, "What the fuck? How do you do that?"
Even
I've never seen that.
You can't find something. It's
not melodious.
Exactly, it's not
melodious. It's percussive. But yeah.
It's freaking intriguing to me. Yeah, I'm forever learning when it comes to this stuff.
Plus, so am I. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Sounds like bubbles. Exploding bubbles.
It does sound like exploding bubbles. You're correct. It's like boing
A
boing.
very thick fluid.
But it
It is.
sounds like a bass line.
It is so weird,
crazy is
man.
that?
It's
Go
it's wild.
Very, very similar to a certain slap in the bass.
Yeah. You're correct.
That's what I mean. They don't need a bass player. If you have a really good tabla player like him, you're thick enough.
I still don't understand those cues, bro. I don't get them.
Their posture's impeccable. Eh?
Beautiful. Oh my god, no, I also would be like totally crying, not gonna lie. Oh, what a dress.
Dude, she's like a royal. She's like some sort of
Goddess in art.
Jesus Christ. She seems unreal.
She does.
But she has a cute, like, fucking military-like posture when she sings. She's perfect.
Well, you need to though. You need to be that stable. You need to be that grounded when it comes to like, especially the pulls and drifts and modulations that she picks physically from her larynx. You need to be so stable. Actually, I wouldn't have chosen that type of stool to sit in because I would love to feel the ground.
The ground. You'll say that, yeah.
Well, that's just a personal thing. Again, she doesn't need to be that vocally grounded.
But we've seen it
she
be
just
very-
needs to be very stable.
We've seen it be very beneficial for other singers as well. so,
Yeah. But given this style of singing, you actually need to be really lifted in the larynx. So I don't know. I literally, Efra, my conclusion is she's amazing. I just don't know anything. I don't know nothing, and I love it. I am so willing to learn. So if you have information about any of the things that we've spoken about throughout the video, please leave it down in the comment section below. We do read everything. We are trying to learn as much as possible. So please keep exploring this wondrous brand new land for us with us too. It's wonderful. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Let us know more about it, please, and what else we should check out next. Goodbye.
That's right.